Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Wade Watches. I'm Wade, and today I'm going to be reviewing Fast X, directed by Louis Leterrier and starring Vin Diesel and the rest of the fam. There's a lot of people in this, but jumping right into it, I have always had a soft spot for the Fast and Furious franchise. Yes, it defies the laws of physics. Yes, the heroes survive anything, but that's any given number of action movies. Like, let's be honest, a lot of action movies outside of the Fast and Furious franchise defy the laws of physics, but I guess none of them have the word family as much as the Fast and Furious franchise, so I guess it gets singled out for that. But going into this, all I really wanted from this movie was to be, at least a bit of an improvement over F9, which kind of fell a little bit flatter than the previous installments because it tries to have this heartfelt story, or not heartfelt, but this emotional story with, brother against brother, Dom going up against his brother, played by John Cena. But I felt like it just kind of fell flat emotion wise with by choosing to focus on these big action set pieces and spectacle over a solid story that I could get behind emotionally. And while Fast and Furious isn't on the same level as something emotional like what's a movie that always gets a tear out of me, like it's not on the same level as, say, Avengers Endgame or anything like that. I feel like the previous installments, save for Fast Nine, and maybe like one or two other ones, there's always like this emotional like core. There's always this emotional resonance, and the best example of that would be basically Fast Five through Fate of the Furious. Though those last few installments before F9 were actually quite heartfelt. Not a lot of stuff. Fury 7, of course, had did that amazing send off to Paul Walker. But Fate of the Furious, the one before F9, was very emotional because sorry, spoilers for that one, but everyone who's seen it knows, Dom's son was being held hostage by the villain Cipher, played by Charlize Theron, and that's why he turns his back against his family and goes rogue and turns evil. And yeah, like again, when it was revealed why Dom was doing this, I was like, when I saw it for the first time, I was like, okay, damn, this got dark. But yeah, that was lacking from F9. So again, going into this, I was just like, at least let the story be a little bit more emotionally engaging than F9. And thankfully, it was because, as you all know from the trailers, this movie is all about Jason Momoa's character, Dante Reyes, the son of the guy that they robbed in Fast Five, wanting revenge against Dominic Toretto. And boy, does he want revenge. And that's really why a lot of this movie works, because it's just a good old fashioned villain revenge story, villain wanting revenge against the hero. And it works. It is simple, but it really works for this movie. And a lot of that is due to Jason Momoa's performance, because he's like the only villain in this franchise, really. Maybe rivaled by Idris Elba in Hobbs and Shaw, who knows that he's a Fast and Furious villain. He's not trying to be super serious or overly intimidating and villainous. He knows exactly what movie he's in, and he gives like the performance of a lifetime. I don't know, Aquaman as competition. This might be my favorite Jason Momoa performance. He's like equal parts Jack Sparrow, Joker, and like '80s rock frontman. What a performance! And a good majority of this movie is about him, trying to get back at the Fast family. So, because of that, and mostly because of that, this movie really works. Again, it's not complex. There's nothing thought provoking. There are no deep themes. It's just a good old fashioned popcorn action flick. That's all that I wanted with again just a more engaging story than that time. That's all I asked for, and it delivered on that for me personally. Um, Yeah, that's the main plot line. There are a couple of subplots because just like in I think this also happened in F9 as well. The fam kind of splits up and they all have their little subplots going. The one that stands out to me, like the other subplot that's not like Vin Diesel Jason Momoa trying to get revenge, is actually John Cena and with Vin Diesel's son. It's kind of like little like goofy uncle and nephew thing going on there. I feel like people are definitely going to complain about them changing Cena's character so drastically in F9. He was the serious imposing villain who like Jason Momoa wanted to get back at Dom, and in this one he's let's just say somebody's definitely a Peacemaker fan. Like the screenwriters are definitely a Peacemaker fan, but John Cena's good at with comedic delivery. So for me, it worked. I have no complaints. Although they definitely did change his character a lot, it works. So I'm not gonna shred into it. So yeah, that about wraps it up for me. I had a fun time with this movie. It's not the best movie I've seen so far this year, but it's one of the most fun and engaging. It knows what it is. The story is definitely an improvement over F9. And another thing to mention is that, believe it or not, there are some actual stakes here. And I like the structure of this movie a bit more than even some of the previous installments because it does something different with this franchise. Now, the way that the story folds out is definitely gonna get some comparison. It's definitely gonna be compared to another popular, billion-dollar big budget blockbuster franchise in one of their installments. But it's not the first time that something like this has been done in a big franchise. So I didn't find it like derivative or ripping off that other franchise. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I like this new direction for this franchise, and I can't wait to see what happens next. So yeah, it was a fun time at the movies. wasn't The story wasn't as weak as F9. It was an improvement over that one, and Jason Momoa stole the show in like every scene he was in. So that's all I wanted from Fast X. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Not a cinematic masterpiece by any stretch of the imagination, but a hell of a fun time at the movies. That's all I really wanted, and that's exactly what I got. So again, 8 out of 10 for Fast X. This has been another edition of Weight Watchers, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.